shortcut to convert from base, start with 8, base 8 to base 2. Okay, so we want to learn how we could use this shortcut to convert from base 8 to 2, and the opposite of that is also right. So that means you could use this method to move from base 2 to 8. Okay, so let's have one example. So suppose you have this number. So this number actually has number is in base 8. So 0.124. This is in base 8. The question is, what is this number in base actually 2? So first, you tell me, if you don't know this shortcut, how you could convert this number from base 8 to base 2 based off using method 1 and 2. Forget about the shortcut that I'm going to talk about that. Give me an idea. If I want to convert this number from base 8 to 2, first, if I want to use method 1 and 2, first, I need to do what? So if you just know method 1 and 2, you say, okay, method 1 actually tell us how you could move from base R, which is R here is 8, to base 10. Also, I don't want to go to base 10, but I need to do that. So use method 1, convert these number to base 10. Then you use method actually 2 to move from base 10 to base 2 that you want. So as I already mentioned, you could do that. There is a lot of calculation. So that's what we learned, these actually shortcut, which is the easiest way to convert the number from base 8 to 2 or 2 to 8. So for doing that, I give maybe the first one other example, which is move from 2 to 8. It is easy to understand what we are going to do. Yeah, keep these in your mind. We will back to these example later. So I have one other example. Suppose you have this number, okay, 0.101. This number is in base 2. You want to actually convert that to the base 8, okay? So this is exactly the same thing. We want to move from 2 to 8. We want to use this shortcut. So this shortcut says, okay, whenever you want to move from 2 to 8 or 8 to 2, so in base 2, you need to actually split numbers actually with 3 digits. So see, I split these 3. So then 1, 2, 3, I split from here another 3 digits. And then I split another 3, okay? So I actually split the numbers, the digits that you have in base 2 to actually with the 3 members or 3 digits. So this is first step in this shortcut. Then you actually write these 3 digits in base 10, okay? So here you have 1, here you have 2, here you have 3, okay? So tell me, what is the 101 in base? Definitely it is base 2. What 101 in base 10? What is the 101 in base 10? So this is what you want to. The question is, what is the 101? Is definitely is base 2. The question is, what's that number in base 10? So you say, okay, this is method number 1. I need to say 2 power, sorry. Yeah, I need to use actually method one. Method one says, okay, if number is in base air, you want to move to 10, you use method one. It says you need to say 1 time 2 power 0 plus 0 times 2 power 1 plus 1 time 2 power 2. If you calculate that, 2 power 0 is 1. You have 1 here. This is 0. You have 4. So this number is 5, okay? So I write here 5. What is 101 again? The same story is actually 5. So what is 110 in base 10? So again, you back here, you say, okay, the question is what is 110 in base, that's in base 2. What's that number in base 10? Method number 1, we learned in our last class, it says 0 times 2 power 0 plus 1 times 2 power 1 plus 1 2 power 2 equal to. So this is 0, you have 2 power 1 is 2, 2 power 2 is 4, you have 4 plus 2, you have 6. So this number is 6, okay? So that means after you did that, you could say, okay, then this number in base 8 is 6, 5, 5 in base 8, okay? So this is actually the shortcut. So I repeat that again. So first, you actually split 3 digits for the right side and left side of the point. So then find that split in base 10. Okay, just be careful. What you are doing, this is a shortcut to convert actually from base to 8, but you find the equal of these three split in base 10. Okay, so this is 5 in base 10, this is 5 in the base actually 10, this is actually 6 in base 10, so that means 6, 5, 5 is 8. So see, the opposite of this is right. So if I give this part, okay, I say, okay, sorry, actually we have 1 point here, right? We forget the point. You have point here, definitely you should put the point there, okay? So the opposite of this is right. If I give this number, which is 65.5, okay, is in base 8, what's that number in base 2? You say, okay, base of this shortcut, any number that you have actually will be 3 digits split in base 2. You need to tell, okay, 5 is in base 10, what that number in binary, right? So the 5 in 10 is 101 in binary. Same thing. This 5 is in 10. What is binary is 101. So this 6, what is its binary is again 110. So that means you could actually do the both of them. So that means you could move from 2 to 8 and 8 to 2. Okay, so the both is the same thing. Okay, so any question? Yeah, you should actually today we will have some homework for the next week. So definitely if you have more practice on moving from base to 10, it is easy to do that. So if you don't have any practice, it's actually maybe a little confusing. But if you have enough practice, that means you will be comfortable with converting the number. It should be easy. So the other things actually I could mention, which is probably make your work easier. So this is rule number 1, right? Whenever you want to move from base 2 to 10, usually you say the first one times 2 power 0, right? What is the 2 power 0? 2 power 0 is 1. What is the 2 power 1 is 2. What is 2 power 2 is actually 4. If you add more numbers, the next should be times 2 power 3, which is 8. So the next should be 2 power actually 4, which is 16. So that's the reason in some books, they say, okay, whenever you want to convert to base 10, you can consider the first one as a 1, the next one as a 2, the next one as a 4, if you have the next as a 8. So if they are 1, you just add that number. Here you could say, okay, 4 plus 1 definitely should be 5. You could do the same thing here. Just write 1, 2, 4. If you have more 8, 16, 32, you could keep going. So here you have 1, 1, 4 plus 2 should be 6, right? Which is technically is definitely method 1, because in method 1 you say this all the time is time 2 power 0, right? 2 power 0 is 1. This should be time 2 power 1, which is 2. This should be times 2 power actually 2, which is 4. The next should be times 2 power 3. That's the reason you could write 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. So this is maybe the other easiest ways to remember method 1, okay? At least for converting 2 to 10. So yeah, as I mentioned, if you need to have some more practice that able to feel more comfortable. To give you one number, so which is 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, and 0, okay? So there is no point. So that numbering is base 2. The question is what's that number in base actually 8, okay? Use the shortcut. Definitely you could use method 1. First convert this to base 10, then move from 10 to 8 based off method number 2, but we want to use the shortcut, okay? So let I give you a 1 minute, so then you actually able to do that, okay? Right now is 2:40. I give you 1 minute and see could you split with 3 digits and find that number in base 8. So I just finished these example here. So here you have this number which is in base 8. You want to use the shortcut to convert that to base 8. So you actually, as I mentioned, you just need to split the bits, 3 bits. So this is first 3 bit. You start from the right side of your number. So this is actually the second one here. You just left the 1. You could add a 0 on the left side of the number. It's not going to change that number. So that means here I have 1 split of the 3 digits, right? So then find these actually numbers in base 10. So you tell me what is the 1, 1, 0 in base 10? It is 6, right? Again, you could say 1, 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6. So what is 0, 0, 1 in base 10? 1, right? So you again you have 1, 2, 4. So these are 0. You have just 1. And what is the last one? Should be again 1, right? So that means you could say this should be actually 1, 1, 6 in base actually 8. Okay. So this is actually the shortcut that you are able to convert the number from base 8 to base 2. So the reverse, the opposite of this is right. So let's actually do the first example, another example, which is we had in the beginning of this session. So which is exactly the opposite, right? So you have this number here in base 8, you want to move to the base 2. So you know whenever you move from 2 to 8, each of these is split of 3, right? So that means I actually come here, put the point here. So this is this point that you see. Then start with 3. So how I could represent 3 in base 2 with 3 digits? So it is 1, 0. So back to the next one. What is the 7 with 3 bits? Is 1, 1, 1. So what is the 6 with 3 bits? Is 4 plus 2, which is 1, 1, 0. Okay, see? So this is first, this is second, this is next one. This is 6, this is 7, this is 3. Here you are on point. Same story for the right side. You have 1. What is the 1 is 3 digit is 0, 0, 1. So what is the 2 with 3 digits? So it should be 0, 1, 0. And finally, what is the 4? 4 is 1, 0, 0. So that means this number is this number that you see in base actually 2. Okay. So this is the shortcut that you are able to move from base 8 to 2, and the opposite of that also, right, 2 to 8.